We are live. Welcome, guys, back to another edition of the Earle Sports Bet Show. I'm Timothy Earle, and today we've got a couple college basketball plays, some hockey, and we get to look at the first initial college baseball rankings. So I'm actually excited to look into that, and we'll kind of look for that. We'll look at that for a minute because I'm a college baseball person. Shocker. And I want to talk about it and discuss some of the rankings. But before we jump into it, yesterday sucked. I'm not going to sugarcoat it. It was a ugly day. I believe we're down 5.7 units. Still managed to sweep the board in hockey with Sharks team total, the Blackhawks, and doubling up on the Stars. But college basketball was a complete disaster. And NBA was down because I thought that the Thunder was going to do a lot more than they did, and they did not. The Thunder were awful yesterday. So not really too happy with that. And we'll hopefully try to bounce back today after what was a very ugly day yesterday. Quickly logging in some of the plays. We also have the semifinals, the Final Four of the college football playoff. First game tonight is between Miami and Ole Miss. And I'll talk about that one in just a second. Plays are posted up. All the free plays are always posted on the picks and parlays. They are picks and parlays, but the free picks are posted on my Twitter page at Bets Earle. That's the official Twitter page of Earle Sports Bets. And those get put, plays get put up along with the records, even if the records don't look great at the moment, because I was almost even in college basketball and then two ugly nights, and I'm back down a bunch. But once again, it's one of those things where I have a bunch tonight. I could easily go 10-1 and build it right back up. So I'm not overly concerned about it. We will fluctuate. It will be a roller coaster, and we just go from there because that's the best we could do. That's what comes with betting volume. So there you go. We'll quickly talk over the free picks for today, which is the Devils. I did double up on the Devils like I did on the Stars last night. Devils coming off of losing 9-0 to the Islanders. I think it's a good spot for them to bounce back. Tennessee Tech and Northern Arizona in college basketball. Like those spots for those two teams. Northern Arizona, a little bit of a home doggy against Weber State. And Tennessee Tech, which is heading to Eastern Illinois. I want to pull up the PG. So perfect game top 25. Because I know they just released it an hour ago. Yep. And one thing that you guys are going to be getting from me a bunch come baseball season is college baseball. So right when we get the first rankings dropping, I'm going to talk about it. And we'll quickly tag into them. I'm not going to dive deeply into all these teams right away, just because, hey, it's kind of a lot to look at real quick. But LSU, defending national champions, are going to be at the number 1 seed, a number 1 ranking preseason. Makes sense. They won the College World Series last year. I believe they made Omaha the year before, so they've been one of the most consistent teams. Georgia Tech is going to be projected to win the ACC. They're one of 2 ACC teams ranked in the top 10. Now, they're only one in the top 5, as you can see. Georgia Tech has a lot of bats coming back, and was it Drew Burress is projected to be one of the top guys for the Golden Spikes. Obviously, the Golden Spikes favorite is on the 5th ranked team, which is UCLA, and that's Rock-Chalowski. But number 3 is Tennessee. Number 4 is Alabama. Obviously, these are according to Perfect Game. They're all subject to change. Tennessee and Alabama. Arkansas. Arkansas should be good again, like they normally are. They'll probably make Omaha. I'll guarantee at least 2 of these top teams are probably making Omaha. It's probably one of either Tennessee or in Alabama or LSU. Maybe Georgia Tech can get in there, but we'll see. Mississippi State, big move up from them because they were kind of a borderline team to make it last year. I believe they barely missed last year, if I remember that correctly. NCAA baseball 2024 bracket. Because I believe I want to say they made it. But I want to say it was not comfortable for them. Bracket. Mississippi State did not make it. Oh, no, they did. Mississippi State played in the Tallahassee Regional. They beat Northeastern, lost to Mississippi State, beat Northeastern, lost to Florida State. So they lost that regional. I think they can come back strong. Obviously, they're a good team. Oregon State made Omaha last year. They were very close to making. Well, actually, no, they were really close to actually being able to try to pull off against Louisville. Louisville came back late in that game, and were able to beat them to knock them out of Omaha. But that was an Omaha team last year, and Oregon State. Texas, always a good team. They were the number 2 team in the nation last year going into the playoff. They lost to UTSA in their regional. So Texas back up there. It makes sense. Florida State was the number 9 last year. They're right back up at number 9. Auburn made a regional. Auburn made a super regional last year after winning their regional. They lost to the runner-ups in Coastal Carolina. TCU is actually in the rankings, which is, I guess, makes sense. They went 2 in barbecue in their regional. So unfortunately for them, they kind of fell flat, but they still made a regional last year. Made sense. Florida. Who did Florida lose to in the regionals? Oh yeah, East Carolina twice. That was beautiful. Even though ECU did not make it out of the regional, but we'll talk about them in a minute. Florida up at number 12. Oregon up at number 13. Solid squad. They brought back some big pieces from last year, and they got to host a regional. Obviously, they went 2 in barbecue. They lost to Oregon. They lost to Utah Valley in Cal Poly, in what was a very weird regional where Arizona made it out. Arizona didn't end up making Omaha, so that was kind of big. Virginia back up in the top 15. I believe they hosted as well last year, if I remember correctly. You know what? Virginia might not have made it last year. I don't see Virginia in here. That was West Virginia. No, Virginia did not make the tournament last year, so that was interesting. Oh, yeah, that's right. They had a really rough year last year. Georgia, number 15. I like their squad. They're gonna have a bunch of big boomsticks, and they're gonna be able to hit. Pitching's gonna be a problem for them. They did make a regional last year. They lost, I believe that was the Duke regional. Yeah, they end up losing to Oklahoma State in the Duke regional, in their own regional, and that Duke ended up winning. Louisville 16 could be a solid squad in the ACC. Coastal at 17, runner-ups from last year. They bring back a pitcher. So when we're betting college baseball this year, there's going to be a pitcher that you're going to look out for. His name is Fluky. He is the ace on Coastal. And we're going to be betting Coastal pretty much every single Friday night. He is one of the top pitchers in college baseball. UNC up 18, makes sense. Vanderbilt is always up there, number 19. They're always in the rankings in some way, shape, or form. Clemson up at number 20, finished out the top 20. And then the bottom row, Santa Barbara, solid squad out in the Big West. I'm excited to see what they've got. NC State way too high. I hate them. Anyways, Southern Miss, always a solid mid-major team. So I do like Southern Miss. Miami is going to be number 24. And rounding out the top 25, it's my East Carolina Pirates. Love to see it. They lost in their regional against Coastal last year. They bring back a bunch of pieces, including Braden Burris, who led the team in OPS. They brought back Austin Irby. They bring back a bunch of that lineup that really was starting to click once they got to the AAC tournament. They're also bringing back Ethan Norby, who could possibly be a projected top 2 round pick. And Sean Jenkins stayed, and they've got another young freshman coming up. The pitching staff's going to be really, really good. Nick Moran's going to hold down the bullpen like he did last year. This is going to be a good East Carolina team. I think they're going to get back to their ways of running the American like they did last year, or like they didn't last year. But I do like I do like East Carolina. Obviously, I'm an ECU fan, so I do love the fact that they're up in the top 25. How much do college baseball players get paid? $5 million like a Texas Tech quarterback? No. Baseball players don't get that much. They'll get stuff. They'll get paid, especially from the SEC schools. They'll get paid. They're just not going to. They're not going to make a lot. Like Rock Chalowski from UCLA. I wonder if they have those numbers. Highest paid NCAA baseball players. NIL. I want 2025. Nope, that's the Chase Laviolette was a big one last year. Cags got a bunch. But like Tommy White, remember Tommy Tanks? For LSU, consistently high ranked with variables exceeding $1 million. So he did make over $1 million. Some of the players will, just not a lot of them. D1 top 15, highest paid. All right, they're not gonna tell you the amount that they're making. But the top guys this year: Trey Morgan, Enrique Bradfield Jr., Cam Thompson, Cags, Moore. Those are all. That's all time. All time biggest ones. But like some of them can exceed over $1 million. But nobody's making $5 million like in college football. Where's ASU? Unfortunately, ASU's not. Man, they had a history of winning too. I don't see them as high. They're going to be playing in the Big 12, which Big 12 is kind of iffy with college baseball. Like you look at the top 25, it's got TCU. Oklahoma State's normally pretty good at baseball, but they kind of fell off last year. Oh no, they were good last year, but they kind of fell off a little bit. But you've got one team ranked in the Big 12. ASU was ranked a little bit last year. I believe they did make a regional too, if I remember right. Arizona. No, it was just Arizona. Arizona State. I think Arizona State was a bubble team last year. Don't sleep on Minnesota. What did Minnesota do last year? They were not good. Minnesota Golden Gophers baseball. I don't think they're going to be good this year. I'll tell you straight out. I don't think they're going to be a player this year. 2025. Let's pull up their 2025. Minnesota went 24-28. I thought they had they beat. That's what it was. They beat Oregon State last year. That was a 10-4 game, and they won 2 out of 3 against your ASU. So who else did they? They won 1 game against Oregon. They didn't really do much. Big Ten. They're a Big Ten team. Big Ten doesn't really do much with college baseball, anyways. Yeah. I'm not high on your Minnesota Golden Gophers. Sorry to disappoint you. I'm just happy to see East Carolina in the top 25. That's kind of nice to see. I think Georgia Tech might be a little bit of an overranking. I think they'll be good, but I don't know if they're going to be that good. We'll see. Obviously, it's still very early. I think TCU is probably a little overranked. I think Florida is probably a little bit overranked. Arkansas, Tennessee makes sense. UCLA might be a little bit better. They've got the number 1 pick in the draft coming up this year, which is Rock Chalowski. Oregon State looks good. So we'll see when it comes to college baseball season. I'm excited for it. Who do you like for the playoff game tonight? I like the U. I took Miami. I did take the University of Miami tonight. So line went from 3 to 3.5, and that was with 56% of bets and 48% of the money on Ole Miss. So sharp line movement heading towards Miami. I like Miami tonight to get the job done. As much as I would love to see Ole Miss go and win the Natty after their coach left them, I just don't see it. I don't. I don't like Ole Miss, no. Hello, Timmy. Hello, Untouchable. How you doing today? I want to take Miss so bad, but I know Miami defense is crazy. I really wanted to take Ole Miss. I really did, and I didn't. I went the opposite way. I kind of like the under in the game too. I think it could be a very good defensive game. I'm just not going to go crazy with that one. Oh, actually, Robin, if you're still here, one of your Minnesota guys, one of your Minnesota football players transferred. I always have Twitter open up on the side monitor. Hey, Untouchable, not Untouchable. Robert, Minnesota to ECU, Jaden Bowden. Love to see that. Sorry, I saw. Anyways, rough last night on hockey. My under lost because of the Blues game. That's rough. I actually swept the board in hockey. I went 4-0 in hockey last night, which is fun. Why in the world would you hit the transfer portal like the Oregon running back when you're 2 wins away from the national championship? Are you kidding me? Did he actually? That's kind of pathetic. Transfer portal. Because I follow transfer portal. Wisconsin's running back. UCLA's defensive tackle goes to Nebraska. Guy from Texas. Guy from Georgia Tech. Guy from wide receiver from Georgia Tech goes from Georgia Tech to Georgia. That's pathetic. Lagway goes to Baylor. Who cares? He goes there. Who cares? When did the Oregon guy go? I don't see the Oregon guy. I could be going crazy, though. Swimming with the Sharks, third period live was good. There you go. Love it. Love it. NIL and transfer portal killed college football. I could not agree more. There's got to be something that they can do to limit transfers. I strongly believe that there's got to be something that NIL can do and that that college football can do to limit the amount of transfers. And if you're going to if you're going to transfer for NIL money, a portion of your NIL money should go to the college that you left. So, like when Caton Hauser left ECU and went to Illinois should give ECU money for Caton Hauser. Because that's kind of how college football is looking right now, to the point of to the point that the lower schools, the smaller schools, are kind of the feeder schools. They're kind of the minor leagues, and then players get picked out and transfer. Like ECU's safety Riddle just transferred from ECU to Georgia. Georgia should be giving ECU money for that. Like, you see that all the time with like the Japanese and the Korean baseball when players post and sign with teams in the MLB. The MLB teams have to pay a postage for the player. Like the Houston Astros had to give Tatsui Imai's team that he played for, I don't remember which team that was, $10 million to be able to sign him. That there should be something in that nature in college football, in college in general. That, or you should have your amount of times you could transfer limited, not unlimited, just limited. Who? I was joking. It's a Minnesota guy. Shake it to the max. What's up, Baxter Jackson? Did the Hurricanes go from dog to fave, or were they always the fave? They were always the fave. They opened up at 3-point favorites, and they moved to a 3.5. So they went from 3 to 3.5. The running back got injured. Got it. I was about to say, I don't think you could transfer if you're in the playoff. It's Sabres. I'm going to a little bonkers. Sabres first period, the over. Sabres puck line and anytime goal. I like it. I won't talk you off of it. No, I won't talk you off of doing that. Go for it, dude. Over and New Jersey money line defense will be optional. New Jersey's probably one of my favorite plays tonight. So I am all in on New Jersey with you. Yep. I agree. NFL futures. I do have an NFL future. Let me pull up my tweet. I did put out a tweet the other day. And make sure you guys. Oh no, I don't want to invite. Make sure you guys check out my Twitter page. But I'm on the Bills. I took the Bills. If the Bills can't get the job done with no Lamar and no Lamar, no Burrow, and no Mahomes in the playoffs, yeah, that's gonna be a problem. That would be a problem. Bills Mafia. Yep. Packers. Yep. I'm already on it. I'm already on the Packers. I haven't put any plays up yet, but Bills, Packers. Quick run through. I don't know if I'm touching that Rams-Carolina game. If anything, it's Carolina plus the points, but I just don't really want to do anything with that one. Packers, Bills. I'm probably going Philadelphia. So Niners, no. Niners opened up at a 3, and now it's a 5.5. Chargers, 100% Chargers for me. That's one of my favorite plays. And Steelers. I'm going to go Steelers as well. But none of those plays are up on the site yet. So there you go. Texans can win it all. No. I don't think so. Here's the deal. I think it's going to be very, very difficult for Houston, a warm weather dome team, to go into Pittsburgh and play in 20 degrees. Yes, CJ Stroud played for Ohio State, so he's used to it, but at the same time, he's been now in Houston for 3 years. So I don't know if I can necessarily trust that. I am not on the Texans. And I know we could look at both Houston and Jacksonville. Houston's won 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 games in a row, and I believe the Jaguars have won 9 in a row as well. Both teams are red hot. I don't care. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 in a row for Jacksonville. Not out of their last time. That's just, both of them are red hot. I'm fading both of them. I don't like the spot for Houston going to Pittsburgh. And if Jacksonville was as good as they were, as good as everybody says they are, then they would be favored at home. That if they're as good as they say, they should be favored at home. I believe that. I don't think Trevor Lawrence is that good. Overrated. I agree. I don't think he's overrated, but he's not a quarterback that I would start my team with. If Allen can't win it with the elite Mahomes, Jackson, Burrows, not there. He's just the Bills. He's just the Bills, like a new lesser version of Jim Kelly. Yeah, pretty much. And if they can't win it this year, then I don't know if they can ever win it. Drake May is actually good. Drake May is good. Correct. Obviously, he was a first round or second round pick for a reason. My big question is, what is New England going to do against a good team? Here's the answer. They don't play good against good teams. Like the New England Patriots are 2-2 against playoff teams this year, and one of those wins was against Carolina. I'm not a buyer. I'm taking the under in Pittsburgh and New England game. Yes. I could see an under in New England and in Pittsburgh. And I would probably go Houston team total under before I would go under in general. That's just me. But sorry, I was responding back to Terry for something. 9ers plus 203 is tempting. I'm not going to believe in that one. As much as I would love to see the Eagles get out, I don't see that happening. I don't. The way that the line is moved, no. The most favorable matchup for Herbert is the Patriots, but I'm not confident in him as playoff guy to take the Chargers. I don't know. I don't believe in New England. Main reason behind that one is just this is a rookie quarterback, and we normally see rookie quarterbacks don't do well in the playoffs. And not to mention, New England hasn't played a playoff caliber team this year. That I know everybody's going to mention that. Everybody's going to bring it up. That's fine. I need to see them play. Now, if they prove me wrong, they prove me wrong. But I can't really get invested in that one. I can't. I'm on the Chargers, and I'll take them outright. But that should pretty much wrap it up for today's show. I will be back again tomorrow. We'll talk over Oregon and Indiana. That should be a really, really good game. I'm excited about that one. Last question. I got two more comments. Any big underdog money lines in college basketball today? Texas State. I think Texas State might be a good one. They're only 4.5-point dogs. Who got the first round bye? Seattle and the Broncos. Yes, Seattle and the Broncos. But that's going to do it for this edition of the Earle Sports Bet Show. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Peace out. Stop Geo.